Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my showcase of Becky Lynch, back in business Bex. She is a modern era chaotic showboat. She's the A tier this month. Let's take a look. She has the modern era gems. Gems do 5% more damage. She does have a gear. It adds 4 to the multiply strength. I will start without the gear, and then I'll claim the gear from the inbox and show you guys what she does with the gear. Okay. Let's see. Back to this. Her coach is actually the same as the zombie coach. Green gems do 40% more damage. Botch gems do 60% more damage. I'm assuming the color might change unless they decided they just want to have a duplicate coach, which, I mean, we've had duplicate trainers before, so it's not the end of the world or terrible or anything like that. Also, if you don't have Zombie Becky, you're much more likely to get this one, so I don't mind it. It's great in the sense that it's 40% green, so all of your green gem damage people that don't use multiplies, she's going to be top-notch there. And then for the botch portion, it's another 60% botch coach, which is nice if there's a per botch move, which El Grande has one, so she's decent on him. All right. So I got a lot of different builds for this one. I think there's a kind of a lot of different ways to play here. It'll depend what you have for equipment, trainers, all that stuff, which one you like. So I'm just going to kind of show you everything I can kind of come up with. This is the weirdest one. She has a stun move. I actually don't like it. So I'm going to run it first. It's just really weird to me. Got 100% gem damage strap, regular Fury 2s, so we're not skewing any kind of damage. Also, she's got some high move damage, but no percentage buff, so we definitely don't want to use that kind of metal, of course, because as you guys know, when you're going against higher tier metals, a lot of time, like if you're using Fury 2s with a 200% metal, and you go against someone with Fury 3s, your move damage is 0. You just don't hit for anything, so... yeah. Let's get started. Flying Forum Smash, 6 MP Juggernaut move, 950k damage. Choose 2 gems to make into 2-turn Juggy gems. Increase your green MP by 5, and then make row 2 into Protect gems of strength 1.5 million. That's 10 million in Protect gem damage. To be honest, guys, with the 80 times kickout boost, when people are like above 75% health, it's not that much. They're basically, you can almost ignore them for the most part again, yeah, that's what I got there. Diving leg drop, 6 MP, purple, deal 1 million damage and choose 2 gems to make into 2-turn juggies. Make the bottom 3 rows into multiply gems. Not really sure why this is 2 gems, to be honest. When 1 would suffice, and then make 49 multiply gems into purple gems. So it just makes you choose an extra gem. I feel like that should be 1, but whatever. And then the Bexploder Suplex, 6 MP, green, deal 868k damage. Force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. It's a hardcore move. If the opponent's style is focused, you're also going to do 1.75 million damage plus 5 million bonus damage for every Juggernaut gem. I guess this is why we have the extras. So between the 2 of them, you get 4. It's 20 million damage against a focused with that hardcore move. So entourage for this one, to be loaded in modes, you're going to need woods, steel, 17k Santa, and then I got Brett for multiply and purple gems because we're going to turn those multiply gems into purple. So let's take a look. Just so happens Jade is focused, so this is by far the best this will look. Against somebody not focused, you're going to do way less damage. But you're going to start off, you're going to put your juggies out. I'm just going to go ahead and put them at the top because there's nothing going on at the top. And then we're going to stun, and this will do the 20 million damage because Jade is focused. Normally you wouldn't do that damage, right? So she would normally have a lot more health unless they're focused. Then go ahead and swipe. And she's stunned. Okay, your green moves fill up. You can see the Juggernaut, the multiply she generates are ×6. So they're not super strong without the gear. And then you would just hit the stun again. We're going to do another 20 million. So Jade would right now would have like 62 million health unless it was focused like this. And then you just swipe again. They're stunned. And then you blow up the bottom 3 rows, which hits for 27 million damage. So that's like the ideal usage of that build set. Against somebody not focused, much, much worse. So yeah, your stun lock runs out after that second one though, just for reference, right? So that's, I guess, how that's designed to work. It's kind of funky. All right, triple purple. We'll stay along the same lines here. This, I will put plates on. Obviously, we're starting without them. We're going to bring in the other purple move, Bexploder Suplex. It reduces your Juggernaut timers, so we're just putting the jugs out. We're getting the Protect gems, and then we're blowing it up. I'm going to start with a more friendly trainer setup, right? And we will move on from there. But I have this loadout saved, I think. All right. So Gunther, 40% purple, 2 purple MP with woods, gets you loaded in all modes. And then we got 60% more multiply gem damage in Zombie Chelsea, and Brett gives us 40 purple and 60% more multiply damage. So yeah, triple purple. Let's run this, see what it hits for. Obviously, her gear is going to be very beneficial for this moveset. The having to choose the jug gems kind of throws me off a little bit from loving it, right? But let's see what this hits this way. You can see we did 34 million gem, and then we have some protect gems out. Jade doesn't kick out. 34 million, obviously not super duper crazy or anything. But that's again without the gear. Probably more like 50 million once we put the gear on, to be honest, with that. All right. Let's go up the trainer whatever a little bit. And we'll move to Sherry and 17k Santa or higher and Brett. This is obviously going to hit harder. Juggies go out. Cooldown reduced. It's not like a bad flow. It just is kind of, with the juggernauts, with all the stuff going on, it feels slow to me. I don't think it actually is, but it feels that way. That was 49 million there without the gear. So you can see the damage is going up. Again, we're not using any plates or gear here. So she's obviously, with gear and plates, will hit. No question. She's going to be a really solid A tier. Okay. This is more for somebody like me that tries to save time. And if you have really whaley stuff, oops, it would help if I had actually put the trainers on instead of just went right in. But we're going to change it to 2 moves instead of 3. And see if we can hit hard enough to speed it up. Honestly, we're not hitting hard enough yet, so we're not going to hit hard enough, right? But once we get plates and stuff and gear, I think the 2 moves is going to be the way to go, to be honest. So let's get those trainers switched out for you this time. Let's try this again without the epic fail. All right. Force NOD Rock lets you be loaded and gives you 2 on the multiply. Then you don't need Santa, and you can use Leo if you have Leo. So this gives you X5, where you only get X4 with Sherry and Santa. So it ends up being better. A better net gain, as it were. Plus, you don't have to use Santa. And when these multiply gems are a little bit smaller, because they start off at 6. Oops, I ended up doing 3 with this anyway. Not that it really matters for this build set, because you can see we're still not gonna push as much damage as we need to. So it's fine. I'll change it out when we put the plates on. Because you'd still be using all your moves for all the extra damage you could get in the protect gems. Because it's basically about the same. It's like 50 mil, right? Not enough. So, should I grab the gear first or the plates first? I think I should do plates first because I think it more likely people have some of the plates than some of the gear. So let's switch to some plates. And we'll start with primary plate. As far as I know, there's no purple MP, purple damage primary plate with the Juggernaut gem, so there's not going to be anything there that's going to help our damage. Secondary, if you're lucky enough to have this plate, I do not on my main account. You get 100% gem damage, but we're running triple purple. So we're going to use the free-to-play option, which you can get from the Showdown store for 250k, and that's Bubba's glasses. That adds 100%. Where are you? Right here. Bubba Race specs. And honestly, before gear, I don't think we're going to be able to go the 2-click route, so I think we're going to have to move route. It's not 2 clicks, it's 4 clicks. 3, 4, whatever. So let's try it with Bubba's glasses. We did hit 50. Let's see what another 100% does for us. Okay. That brought us up to 70, right? So that's for an A tier with free-to-play access plate that you can get from the Showdown store for 250k. That's pretty darn good. Granted, those are the Whaley trainers, but 70 mil on the A tier is nothing to sneeze at, right? Mherex proof as well. All right, let's dial it back down with this and see what we get. Sherry should be very similar. A little bit less, but should be pretty close. Probably like 65-ish. Do keep in mind this has a super powered Santa on it, sadly, so your mileage will vary, but we do only have 100% strap. So keep that in mind, though. Obviously, once we get the gear and add the gear on, then she should, like, absolutely hit super hard. Don't know how hard the gear is going to be to get. 67 million. So not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. And then let's do it with Gunther because that's a more friendly setup. And Becky's the A tier. A lot of people should get her. And you can get this plate for free. So let's make sure we do the kind of the starter build set, right? Without all the trappings, as it were. I didn't put Chelsea on, though. I forgot the trainers again. I am just doing so great this morning. I'm sorry, guys. Well, you'll get to see it in action again with the wrong trainers. Let's just go back here so I don't confuse anyone watching this. Post haste. That didn't even make sense. That was words that didn't fit after the fact. Wait, that only hit for 43 million. Did I change the trainers? I must have changed the trainers. Oof, why do you guys even watch me? That was 43 million. I changed the trainers. So, all right. I'm an idiot. Well, that was with the trainers. All right. So 43 million. All right, let's go. All right, let's grab her gear. Enough of this. I have other movesets, by the way, without the gear coming. And I think the moveset I end up liking might not be this? Question mark? I don't know. It's possible. We'll have to see once we get plates on. I haven't played it with plates. I have not played it with the plates. All right, let's go in here, back in here. We got the gear. 4 multiply. Gear looks good. I like the gear. Looks more like the Becks we're expecting. The previous one looks like the man Tech Becky to me. All right, so 4 times multiplies. This should actually really hit. I think. Also, I'm not positive the other plate will work. That was 72 million with the starter setup and the gear. I'm not sure the multiply plate will work because of the way the combo moves and juggernauts work. I'm 50-50 on it. So I'm just preferring to keep the plate we're using on her, the Bubba's glasses, because I know that works for 100%. So let's climb up here and go with the Sherry route. This, I'm guessing, is going to push 90. I should probably switch this, huh? Okay. Boom. Yeah, 92. 92 mil from the A tier with the gear. All right. Let's go here and see what we get. And I'm going to try not to... I'm not going to put the green move in. You'll see it. You'll see it later. I'll just keep the ones in and do the 2 moves with it. Just in the interest of saving time. Because obviously we weren't going to use the green move. It was just there for looks. Entourage. And I don't have this one saved. Because I ran out of entourage spots. Yes, Mem Leo. Boom. This, if I get her gear, probably the way I'll run her, but like I said, there's another moveset coming that's kind of interesting. It flows smoother, so we don't need the top one. So this is going to be 50% less gem damage, so it probably hits a little bit weaker, but it's going to save us time on juggernauts going off and protect gems going out. So this is much faster, much smoother. Right? Much faster, much smoother. 85 mil, which is plenty good. Other than the fact you have to place the 2 juggernauts, that's kind of starting to get up there in McCool range. McCool is, you don't have to interact with the board though. So yeah, it's actually kind of shockingly good. But again, super whaley stuff, right? McCool doesn't need that much stuff. That much whaley stuff. Mainly NOD rock. Okay, so next. I think we kind of showcased that really well. So triple yellow. I hate triple yellow. I'd rather use the green move you're going to see after this. Multiply gems are going to do nothing for this. But I'm just showing yellow for the sub in case, you know, you can't win one turn. You can't do the other stuff. You need to recycle. So that's why we're going to run this. Also, this entourage is not as friendly with what's his butt here, Heroic Titan Andre. That's the one I would use. I'll show it to you without Heroic Titan Andre. But know that Heroic Titan Andre would be the best. But I want you guys to have a, you know, more realistic probably. So we're just going to use Austin because you have more access to him. He's 40%. Any yellow is fine. So we're only doing 640k on the finisher this way. But Heroic Titan Andre would put it up to 640k, sorry, per cross break, and there's 21 of them. So I'll tell you the difference real quick. As soon as I locate my calculator app. There it is. So normally, or the other way, you're doing 21 times 1.04 million. So the finisher does 22 million unblockable, basically. And this way, you're getting 21 times 640k, which is 13 million unblockable. So this is about 8 million less, but you're getting better gem damage. So probably like 6 million-ish less than Heroic Titan Andre, okay? So just keep that in mind. The moves: Disarmor, 7 MP, yellow sub, 8 gems to make into yellow sub gems, 575k damage, 3 turns. Remaining turn into multiply gems of strength 5. Leg Lariat, 7 MP, deal 1 million damage, make the bottom 3 rows into crossbreak gems. It's also a reversal. It's a trap reversal. If they do a trap gem, deal 1.75 million damage and increase your yellow gem damage by 150% for 2 turns, then steal their turn. So, you know, no one's going to trap you with this moveset, and then you're going to hit hard. Manhandle Slam, 1.75 million damage plus 400k bonus damage for every crossbreak gem. Then Finisher, another 1 million damage, and make the whole board yellow. Okay? Woods and Cena get the sub loaded. Also the crossbreaks loaded, but there's no reason to put them out first. And then we got Woods, Turtle Woods for 60% crossbreak gem damage, and Austin for 40%, but I would use Heroic Titan Andre if you have them. You'll see Heroic Titan Andre in the next build, so I should have just set this one up this way to begin with, but you know, whatever. Alright, so the way you're going to play this is 2-3 yellow matches, and then you're going to want to have your multiply gems towards the top, if possible. So, you know, yeah, something like, we'll just go like that. Because they do leave multiply gems, and you want to keep them off the bottom 3 rows, which we mostly did. That's not too bad. Oh, the gear screwed this up a little bit, though. They would be smaller, the multiply gems, because the gear is adding 4, so these would only be 5. So these are each adding 2 million. So we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 million off of the gem damage you see without the gear would be about right. So take 4 million off of this total here. So like, yeah, it's about 32 million hit. Nothing crazy. It recycles itself with the sub, 32 million. It's not crazy. Much better way of running it is this way, with the move you haven't seen yet. You do get an advantage going against a striker. It's a bunch of random multiply gems, so you have no idea where they're going to go. So there's that. But it's the Discus Clothesline. This is the one move you haven't seen. 2.25 million damage, which is a lot for a 1 MP. It's 1 MP green. Increase your yellow MP by 6. Hardcore if opponent's class is striker. First deal 725k damage and make 18 random gems, multiply gems, strength 6. We're not going to be using that here. Leg Lariat. You guys know that. Why am I reading that? Entourage for this one is all of the cross breaks. So Kofi lets it all get charged off of the green. And then we can use Hall of Fame Tori for 100% cross break, Woods for 60 cross break, and Titan Andre for 100%. That gives us 1.44 million, right? On 21 gems. So that's like 30 million unblockable. So she'll do 30 million unblockable damage and then blow up the board. Let's see what this looks like, and then we'll put some plates on for this particular build set. So this will fill the yellows because we have Kofi on, and then you just hit this guy. Then we're gonna do our 30 million unblockable and then blow up the board. for a 46 million damage pin, 46 million total, which isn't crazy. You can see what I mean a lot of times by flow. That flow's way better, but it's only 46 million. So what, if anything, can we do to amp this up? Well, there's the star-crossed anniversary plate, which gives us 8 times 8 multiplies for 64 more gems. So let's see what it looks like with that. I haven't tried this yet, so I have no idea how we're going to hit. Let's put the star-crossed on first, and then we can add a couple ultimates. Obviously, the purple plate that's on there is doing jack all. Star-crossed, whenever you make 8 cross breaks, you get 8 times 8 multiply gems, right? So, we're obviously going to be making cross breaks. Let's see what this looks like. But yeah, this flow is way smoother to me than the Juggernaut moveset. You don't have to interact with the board. So this is like my preferred play style for Feud and like Showdown and stuff. It's just smoother. Now we're doing 61 million total, right? A gear is not affecting that. That's 61 million total with 30 unblockable. That's pretty good. This is what I would run, honestly, if I didn't get the gear. 100% this is what I would run, I think. Because you can also put one more plate on there. There's 2, so you could use the free one and get 50% boost. Free as in this from the Showdown store. It's the LA bite plate, give you 50% yellow gem damage. But we also have the, I believe it's the Shades of Rain's ultimate, if I'm not mistaken. I just have to find it, which adds 100%, I think. If I remember right, I haven't used this in a minute. And like I said, I don't test with the plates because I like getting a feel for them. Yeah, 7 or more get 100%. I like getting a feel for them without how they play with plates. If I start right away with plates, I feel like I get kind of a not as good a feel for them. So generally, in the interest of saving time, I play them a bunch without plates, you know, try and see what works best. And then I can, sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised once we get into the match and like, ooh, this build set actually kind of like a little bit more than I thought. And I had the feeling, even though it's not going to look as sexy, this is the moveset I actually like once you get all the plates on. But I didn't know that for sure. Obviously, the other one hits way harder. What am I doing? I'm putting a plate on. This will give us 100% more, which should be significant with all of those multiply gems. Also, this doesn't depend on the gear, which I like, in case I don't get the gear. I didn't get Lex's gear. She was the A-tier gear. Still don't have it, so, you know. This also doesn't use any of my multiply gem trainers, which are in high demand, typically. Let's see what this does. 71 million. That's chef's kiss to me. Now the question is, what if we give up some unblockable to hit harder? So let's just whale this out a bit and take Woods off, as he's the not a huge amount of unblockable. We did 71 million total there, and let's go with Zombie LA, because I feel like, or sorry, Zombie Punk. I feel like this is going to be kind of the sweet spot. Because he gives 40% yellow and 60% multiply gem. Too bad our gear doesn't affect the multiplies off of the plate. Let's see what this does. Yeah, 46 million with some unblockable, which I should add up to see. But we zeroed Jade when we weren't before, so that's definitely the sweet spot. That's the build set I'll run, gear or no gear, because of the none of the trainers for this are in demand for me, and I have an extra Star Cross. And I think I might have an extra Shades of Rains. If not, I can make it move. So, but that's the build set. I actually really like her this way because it's smooth. She obviously yellow boss right there, right? And then you got purple boss right here. So that's very nice. Honestly, a fan-frickin-tastic A tier. The only problem is she comes right after Michelle McCool, who is a weak era, right? Very weak era, and can do greens very well in boss, and then also can do black gems very well in boss. The flip side is they're both doing different colors. So there's that. I do like McCool more. Yeah, I think I like McCool more. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I think she's better, for sure, in a weak era as well. Do I think they're both worth building? Probably. So if you don't have Mommy, right, what she's doing there is faster than, like, Maxine, who's a modern, right? So, like, that's kind of the comparison. Asuka's new gen, so Asuka should be built. Asuka hits harder, right? Charlotte's reality. McCool is ruthless aggression. Mommy's the modern comparison, right? So if you don't have Mommy, she's by far your best modern lady showboat. Some people may argue Maxine's better. I with the stuff, the star-crossed and stuff that I just showed you, the build set, this one, I like personally this better than Maxine. It's faster, flows better, feels better to me. But that's assuming you have the star-crossed and the Roman plate, right? Maxine probably hits harder by the time you get her moment, not probably, she will. Moment, reinforced plate, either the green Piper plate or reinforced plate, and then her gear. I'm sure Maxine will hit harder, but you guys know I don't typically care about that. So either way, I think a fantastic A tier with a lot of options. Gear is going to be very strong on her if you don't want to play this set or you don't have a star-crossed, right? And you can do some stuff with her. And even if you don't have a lot of stuff, I feel like, couple cycle win, like my free-to-play would love this one, right? For sure. So I think she's a really great addition to the game. Fantastic A tier. A tiers being good are back. Bundy, after seeing the whole month, seeing what we got, Bundy's just a disappointment. I'll write that off as a one-off since Becky's back to our tradition of awesome A tiers, in my opinion. So I think she's really great. I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase. Great addition to the game. Can do a lot of stuff. Modern era, like basically her, Mommy, and Maxine. And I kind of prefer her to Maxine. Obviously not Mommy, but still, for an A tier, that's saying something, right? So let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this showcase. And remember to like, subscribe, and share, because that really helps me out. Other than that, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Really, really good A tier. Prop scopes. I love it when you give good A tiers. Absolutely love it.